Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty. Here again with you with another edition of the podcast and the vlog for the week. We're in Mental Health Month. It's 2026. We're in a better frame of mind. But before we get into today's podcast, let me share a little bit about myself. My name is Dustin. I'm a middle-aged man. I operate the platform Dustin's Dynasty. I was diagnosed with autism at a very early age, 18 months, and I've been living a lot of it through my life. And there were years where I was not served by the system, but for at least the past 2 to 3 decades, I was. And I've now been living on my own for over 7 years and been having a part-time job for over 16. Here I am here. I am sharing a glimpse into my life with autism. And part of that also includes having mental health challenges. And being that it is Mental Health Month, I thought I would share, understanding that mental health is a part of my life, managing it, caring for it, understanding what is going to be a part of life. And, if anybody's been following my vlog and my blog and everything else that I do in the past 2, 3 years, you've seen that I hit rock bottom about 3 years ago. And we're finally on the mend. We're doing way better than we've ever been. Today was a real remarkable moment of that because I was with my day services and giving the same talk about the program that how it helped me almost 2 years from the time I did it the last time at that same location. And when I was at that location 2 years ago, I was in a completely different mentality, a very different state. I guess you would say I was in a I was getting ready to get into a manic state, and I didn't have my priorities under control. I was not thinking. I wanted to avoid things because I thought I could, and wasn't thinking clearly, wasn't respecting authority. Typical behavior for someone who carries the diagnosis I carry. So, you know, I was reeled in about that. And it took having real conversations and knowing that there's times when I'm not my best. It concerns people, it causes people to worry. So I knew I had to pick myself back up off the bootstraps and start getting real about caring for my mental health. And the part of that is, the battle that I had been fighting for so long, but understanding that I have to do it for me and for those around me too, and that if I want to do the things that I need to do to thrive, then I need to do the things I need to not only survive, but thrive so that I can be able to even thrive. And even as things have changed even since then, and when the changes happen, I often crash, or I would. And so knowing that, the paradigm shift was happening and that things were happening and I had to reel myself in and get myself under control, uh, you know, and understand what the reality of a situation was and not think I could do whatever I want or I had more power than than the kingdom. I still had to realize that I had to take care of myself. There's some harsh realities that I have to accept, like the weight gain and managing my food intake and, you know, being mindful of what I'm eating, stuff like that too, because physical health is just as important as mental health. So, that means doing things that I know I need to do and slowly getting in back to that, but also understanding that as much as, the medication had reeled me in, it was realizing that it reeled me in for a reason. And even though, there were challenges along the way with breaking through fear, those were intended to be because those fears were driven because of my autism. And I had to learn to overcome those fears. I had to learn how to manage my feelings. I had to learn how to understand what I could control versus what I couldn't. I had to learn that, we had to let a lot of things go, and process those things, work past those things, understand, what's proper, what's improper, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, just reeling myself in and understanding, there's things that, I have to be morally responsible for. I have to have a sense of moral fiber. I have to understand, that the world doesn't always go the way I want, and life can't always flow in the way I want. I have to be willing to be flexible, understandable, just learn how to live life as I can. And, even though medication is just a part of the mental health, it's working with everything else and fighting through the not wanting to, the not being brave and taking a step sort of thing, and not and fighting like the fatigue and the other things that come along. And even though there is things like fatigue, sleep, appetite, it's learning how to manage them, but it's also learning how to live with them the best I can and use the best practices that I can to overcome the barriers, the challenges, so forth. It's also understanding that there is expectations, no matter where I go, that are expected of me. There are things that I am expected to do, things that I am expected to adhere by, things that just have to be, and that not acting, reacting, or causing an episode or a meltdown, so to say, can have consequential effects that in the past would not have the same level of latitude as they did in the past. So I know I have to mind my P's and Q's all the time, so to say, and keep on top of things, be my best, and show that I am my best. And I think today, going to see that same place that I talk to different consumers, our individuals, 2 years ago, I was in a completely different mindset and could share the story and talk the story and show how the program did help me when 2 years ago I wanted to leave because I was fearful of things, or I didn't think I could handle things, or that I couldn't accept the reality that, that there was stuff for me still to work on. And in fact, there was. And that time will come again where I have to make that decision. And I have ideas and I want to do things. So, I know that I'll be there and that I am a true asset and that I can do great things. And I think that's the thing that helps me get through the struggles I think that I face with the barriers, the challenges, the stressors, the traumatics, the sort of thing is that I have to see what can I bring to the table? What asset can I offer in this situation? How can I best take care of myself in this situation? What can I do to keep myself out of other people's drama, out of other people's business? Those sort of things, and try to mind my peace and focus on how can I care for myself, how can I get out of this ruminative thing. And we talk about rumination or looping or anything else of that matter, and that it's a part of autism. I think there are mental health struggles that are specifically a part of autism themselves, but it's all about management and not looking to others for solutions, not looking to others for attention. It's working on solving your own problems and coming out of those struggles that you face and being the better person in any situation, whether it's with others or it's with yourself. I think, even though, you may spend time by yourself, or you may live on your own, or like me, or you may have to fight a fight like me, it's fighting those inner struggles, overcoming the anxiety, the feelings, the anger, the things that you feel, and processing the things that you feel, and knowing that it's up to you to make those decisions. It's up to you to take the initiative and do those things. Like even just doing this episode, for example, that was a step, because if I wanted to relax some more, I would. But I decided that I wanted to do that. That included this morning seeing this beautiful picture and making it happen. Before I had to go out the door this morning, or maybe even yesterday, I don't recall, but I got it ready because I liked it. And, it was available and I took it. And that's just how, and it helped give me that incentive to do it. But this evening, even as the day ends and I do take care of my mental health by resting, relaxing. We talk about, autistic burnout, and I know they talk about it a lot in UK, but, I too am realizing that I suffer from that in my own way when things become too much and life is too overwhelming. And even as the latter part of this week was not, it was pretty relaxing and I was able to recharge or not be overwhelmed at the end of the week. I still did take time for relaxation, and but I knew also that I had to get up, get going, get doing, because I mean, you can relax to some degree, and sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less, but I think it's understanding in a way that, you also have to keep the mind going, keep the mind busy, keep distracting yourself from the rumination, from the loops, the things that bring you down, that make you feel horrible, the thoughts. And I think that's the big thing, steering yourself clear from what you're thinking that can bring you down and make you feel so down and out, when there's so much, I think, at least in my hindsight, to find that I can be an asset to, or that I can find joy in, and overcoming those barriers of feeling down and out or ruminating over things that I just can't fix. You really can't fix some things on at 8 o'clock on a I mean, at 6 o'clock on a Friday night, nor can you maybe not even fix them at all, or maybe they even worked a way out to be helpful to you to understand that they can be what they are, and you have to work. It takes knowing the skill set, the knowledge, and processing everything and what you did and how you coped with those things. It takes, gaining skills, gaining knowledge to move on in life, to understand. And I think that's a big thing too, along with, like I said earlier, about like caring for your mental health, taking your medication right on routine times, being mindful of what you're eating, drinking, so forth, trying to get outside, trying to move. And, even having quality sleep and knowing, that certain things, that you have to make sure that you have a bed that is for sleep or pleasure, and that, that is what it's for. And if you're there to relax or pleasure yourself, that's one thing. But then you have to, move on and find something enjoyable, and, learn how to distract yourself. So, that is what you have to do. And I think the more and more as I evolve, and even as this goal moves on, and working into segueing into what I want to work on next, even at day services, I know that it's an asset to be there. I know it's an asset that I can do great things and be a one for the team and support it. Even though, it's maybe 20 some years, it doesn't matter, because I'm still working on those goals. I'm still progressing. I'm still learning. And mentally, I see that as a place I need to be, and that it supports me and I support them. And I can't say that 2 years ago I was in that frame of mind. So I think it's a good thing in a way. So I'm going to close by saying thank you. And if you haven't already, be sure to like this video, tap that notification bell if you haven't already, and subscribe to my channel wherever you may be listening from. If you need to know where all my channels are, you can find them on my link tree under Dustin's Dynasty. My website is www.dustinsdynastyusa.com. And lastly, if you need at my socials, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, X, Pinterest, and TikTok. So again, I want you to have an amazing weekend. Take care of yourself. You matter. You are enough and you are loved. Have an awesome weekend, everyone, and enjoy the weather. We're going to have great weather here in the East Coast and southwestern Pennsylvania, warm and hot, but we're going to make the best of it. So have a good weekend, everyone, and we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.